Mother, tell your children not to walk my way. Tell your children not to hear my words, what they mean, what they say.
Hello everybody, and this is Truthslayer with another question and answer video. And I don't know if I said this in my last video, I didn't look, but I think I did, but I'll repeat it. I'm going to be a little more selective in the questions I use, simply because I was answering a lot of the same questions. I was answering a lot of questions which really didn't need to be answered. I was being asked to answer questions that really were too long to be answered in this format as well. So all I'm going to ask you guys, just make sure your questions are good, and if they're good questions, they'll undoubtedly wind up in one of my videos. So let's get started here. Okay, Truthslayer, you mentioned wrestlecrap in your last video, so I wanted to ask, what is your favorite piece of wrestlecrap or botch or messed up promo? My favorite piece of wrestlecrap would probably be China winning the Intercontinental title. To be honest, I always thought that actually, in a lot of ways, even as bad as it was, actually made sense in a lot of ways too. So that would be my favorite, so to speak. Let's see. Why has the WWE destroyed the cruiserweight title? It was amazing in WCW. Even they struggled to wreck it. It's pathetic. They try making their cruiserweights wrestle like heavyweights, but they look worse. I agree. I don't know why they even have the cruiserweight title, because if they're not going to let guys wrestle cruiserweight title matches, i.e. high-flying, junior heavyweight type of match, there's no need to have that belt, in my opinion, because that's what pretty much separates a cruiserweight from a regular guy. So in a lot of ways, and so I don't really understand why they do that. I think they just need to do it at the belt and let guys just wrestle, whoever. I think it works. I think they use the cruiserweight title as a way to hold guys back in a lot of ways. And if they're not going to use the title properly, then I don't understand why you have it. Just do away with it, Anyways, hey Truthslayer, first time asking a question, but a long-time viewer of your videos. I got two questions. Why does everyone hate Teddy Hart? Because Teddy Hart is a jerk. He makes people purposely look bad in the ring. And he's just a jerk, to be completely honest, and so that's why people don't like him. I mean, he has an attitude. He's cocky without trying to be cocky. Now that he's signed with WWE, maybe he'll get his act together and he'll realize he needs to follow the rules, and he needs to that part of being a good wrestler is making the other guy look good, not making him look bad. So. And I'm a huge TNA and old school ECW fan. Which promotion do you think is better? I would say old school ECW without a doubt. I think old school ECW is one of the best promotions ever, to be completely honest. Not that it had necessarily great matches, because really it didn't, but it was fun and it was entertaining, and that's just as important as having great matches. But it was fun and entertaining, and it did give you felt your money's worth, and that's of course the most important thing. Which promotion? What is your favorite TNA and old ECW match? My favorite TNA match is, of course, the Triple Threat with Daniels and AJ and Samoa Joe. And my favorite old school ECW match would actually be Hayabusa and Hakushi versus Sabu and Rob Van Dam. I really, really like that match. Let's see. What are your thoughts and opinions on Go Shiozaki? I personally think his match with BJ Whitmer in the UK last summer was a sleeper match of the year contender. Your thoughts? I like Go Shiozaki. I haven't seen a lot of them, however. I've seen him in a lot of Noah shows, but most of the Noah stuff I've seen of him has been tag matches. But from what I've seen, he does look good in the ring. I think there's probably other guys in Noah that are better than him, who are not getting a push at the time. So, but I do think he's good in the ring, and I think he's fun to watch. So, I saw a great match on YouTube with Dr. Death Steve Williams against Kenta Kobashi from All Japan Pro Wrestling in 1994. That is an amazing match. People, go check that match out. In America and Japan, for that matter, wrestlers can tell each other what will come next in their native languages. So do people in the back who speak English tell the American wrestlers the finish, or what? I'm guessing you're talking about in Japan. Most Japanese wrestlers have a fairly decent understanding of English, and most American wrestlers that wrestle in Japan have at least a slight, understanding of Japanese so that they can kind of communicate with themselves. And also, the other guy that helps communicate is the ref in the ring, and so that often helps when there's a language barrier. And usually, guys are familiar enough with each other's moves and matches and kind of how they do matches that they can basically just go out there and kind of just feed off of each other without actually having to talk. Ric Flair talks about this a lot in his DVD, that him and Ricky Steamboat, him and Dusty Rhodes, and him and a lot of other guys could just go out there and wouldn't really even have to talk. They could just flow through a match, and that's a lot of what they rely on in Japan, or particularly when you're dealing with a guy where you have a language barrier in wrestling. In ROH and TNA, if ROH and TNA had 2-hour deals, and WWE, ROH and TNA had a triple threat ratings war, who do you think would be number one, and do you think it will be better than the WWF versus WCW ratings war? I don't think it would be better, because you basically would be dividing the fans even more up, and one of them definitely would go by very quickly. But I think that probably WWE, because they got more money at the moment, they got more resources at the moment, would definitely come out number one, because I think that would basically, kick them into gear. Like I said, they got more resources, they got more ways of doing things. I would love to see that not happen, but I think that is what would happen. What are your thoughts on Dick Togo and Masato Tanaka? Dick Togo is very good. If none of you have ever seen any of his matches, go check him out. They're very good. He's a great power junior weight, without a doubt. And Masato Tanaka is one of my favorite wrestlers, particular hardcore wrestler. Just love his stuff without question. Hey Truthslayer, simple questions. What is your favorite Japanese wrestling match of all time? It would be Matsura Masawa versus Kawada, I believe. I want to say the match that I really like is 92, but it might have been one of their matches in 94. I always kind of get their matches kind of mixed up in my head, but any of their matches are really good, and those are always usually my favorite matches. Do you think if Chris Jericho went to WWE before he went to WCW and got a huge push, could he have been as big as The Rock? I don't think so, and here's why. Because Jericho needed to go to WCW because WCW did do a better job of pushing the younger guys due to the cruiserweight division. Something WWF and WWE have always kind of failed to do. So I think he had to go there before he would have been able to go to the WWE and become the star, because he had to become a star in WCW before he would have been able to become a star in WWF. So there you go. Do you think if ROH gets a TV deal for a weekly show that they will have to change their way of running things? Like, will they have to be more entertainment based, or would they be able to get more ratings with just the way things are in ROH, which is more wrestling-based product? That's why they're not on TV, because they do want to pretty much, they understand that they would have to add a little bit more storylines to it, but honestly, if you follow Ring of Honor real closely, you know that wouldn't be too hard for them to do, to be completely honest. But that's why, because they don't want to completely change their product. They want to keep their product the way it is, so that's why they're not on television, because they have been offered television deals and they've turned them down. So when did you last mark out, so to speak, when watching the WWE? I would say the last time I marked out watching WWE would have been One Night Stand 06. Most of that pay-per-view, there were a lot of mark-out moments for me. I love that pay-per-view, so that would be it. And let's see, lots of people send you questions about wrestling, so you can answer them on one of your videos, but my question is, what made you start making videos on YouTube? Thanks. You can thank, for those of you that hate me, you can thank Moral Virus. It's all his fault. Me and him used to converse on a message board. He started linking some of his videos. I started watching some of his videos. From there, I started watching some of Bill and Doug's videos, and finally I got fed up with people not, being able to, in my opinion, argue with Bill and Doug well, and so that's why I started making videos, because I wanted people to understand that Bill and Doug were not correct.
Let's ride.